Have you ever felt like the world becomes more perplexing as you age? If you've reached your 70s and find yourself scratching your head at outdated fashion trends, confusing technology, or societal expectations that no longer make sense, you're not alone. In today's video, we're diving into 9 enlightening insights that will have you nodding in agreement and perhaps even laughing out loud. Why should you stick around until the end? Well, not only will we tackle the pressing questions that many older adults grapple with, but we'll also explore the profound wisdom that comes with aging. You'll discover how to let go of the weight of others' opinions, simplify your life by releasing material possessions, and prioritize your own happiness without guilt. We'll also discuss how to embrace your authentic beauty, say no to unnecessary social obligations, and cut ties with toxic relationships that drain your energy. Each point will empower you to reclaim your joy and navigate this exciting chapter of life with confidence. So, whether you're seeking relatable humor, valuable life lessons, or inspiration to embrace your unique journey, this video is packed with insights just for you. Join us as we celebrate the freedom and wisdom that come with age. Let's embark on this enlightening journey together. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. 1. Letting go of the weight of others' opinions. Picture this, a weight slowly lifting off your shoulders, a burden that has been with you for so long you hardly noticed it was there. For years, you've carried the weight of others' opinions, like an invisible anchor tied to your soul, keeping you from truly being yourself. These opinions, sometimes silently implied, other times spoken outright, have a power that can shape the way we see ourselves, the choices we make, and the lives we ultimately lead. They come from family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers, each one an expectation, a standard, a judgment, urging us to bend ourselves into forms that sometimes feel foreign. From childhood, we're introduced to this concept of approval. We're praised when we follow certain rules, meet certain standards, and act in ways that bring a smile or a nod of approval. We learn to be the good child, the dependable friend, the successful professional, and over time, these roles become embedded in us, often without question. But at what cost? How often do we pause to ask ourselves, is this what I truly want? Is this who I am? As the years roll by, there are moments when we sense the weight pressing down harder, times when we feel the discomfort of living by others' expectations rather than our own. The desire to please, to fit in, and to be respected can become overwhelming. This pressure, subtle yet pervasive, influences our decisions, our relationships, and even our self-worth. We start shaping our lives around what we think will gain approval rather than what brings us joy or fulfillment. Every time we do this, we lose a bit of ourselves, a bit of the spark that makes us unique. But then, as we grow older, life's experiences start teaching us something deeply valuable. By the time we reach 70, we've likely experienced enough of life's joys and heartaches, triumphs and disappointments, to uncover a profound truth. No one else's opinion can define our worth. We've seen the ebbs and flows of relationships, the fickle nature of others' opinions, and the way people's expectations can change with the wind. And through it all, we come to realize that the only opinion that truly matters, the only one we should strive to satisfy, is our own. The idea may seem simple, but the impact is life-changing. Consider for a moment. How many choices have you made based on what you thought others might think? How many dreams have you buried under layers of self-doubt, fearing the judgment that might follow if you dared to pursue them? How many smiles and laughs have you stifled, all to avoid standing out or seeming different? How many moments of potential happiness have been lost to the suffocating fear of criticism? The beauty of aging is that it brings a gift of clarity, a wisdom that helps us see the futility of trying to please everyone. People will always have opinions, judgments, and assumptions. But here's the liberating truth. We don't have to let those opinions affect us. We don't have to give them power over us. We can choose to live according to our values, desires, and truths, free from the need for external validation. The more we align with who we are, the more fulfilling our lives become. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Letting go of others' opinions isn't just a decision. It's a powerful shift in perspective. It's a reclaiming of our inner authority, a declaration that says, I am enough just as I am. When we decide to stop caring about what others think, we finally take back our power. Imagine for a moment how freeing that feels. We're no longer puppets, pulled by invisible strings of expectation, always dancing to someone else's tune. Instead, we stand tall, grounded in our truth, moving through life with an authentic sense of purpose. Releasing the need for approval brings lightness to our hearts and minds. It's like taking a deep breath after holding it in for far too long. We start to make choices that resonate with us, choices that feel right, rather than choices that might please or impress someone else. The weight of others' opinions is heavy, but the freedom that comes from letting go, it's light, empowering, and profoundly joyful. This journey isn't always easy. There may still be moments when we feel the pull of others' expectations or the sting of judgment. But with each passing year, it becomes easier to recognize those feelings for what they are. Remnants of a past where we placed others' voices above our own. And now, we know better. Now, we choose differently. So, let's open up this conversation. How has letting go of the need for approval changed your life? What are the moments when you felt the beauty of living for yourself, free from the chains of others' expectations? Perhaps it's in the small things, like choosing to wear what you love instead of what others deem appropriate. Or maybe it's in the big things, like pursuing a dream you once set aside. Whatever it may be, share your journey. Let's celebrate the strength and courage it takes to embrace our authenticity, to value our own opinion above all else, and to live a life that is truly, deeply ours. 2. Releasing the burden of material possessions. As we travel through life, we often find ourselves seduced by the idea that happiness can be found in the things we own. In our younger years, this belief can shape our choices and fuel our ambitions. We work hard, save, and dream about filling our lives with tangible symbols of success. A beautiful home, fine clothes, valuable collections, and maybe even the latest gadgets. These possessions seem to promise a life of comfort and security, a visible testament to our achievements. And yet, as the years pass, something quiet yet profound begins to stir within us. A realization that true fulfillment doesn't come from the things we hold in our hands, but from the moments we hold in our hearts. Take a look around your home. Is it filled with objects from years gone by? Items you once believed would make you happier, more complete? Are there closets overflowing with clothes you haven't worn in ages, shelves lined with trinkets that have lost their meaning, or drawers crammed with things you no longer remember acquiring? At the moment, each of these things might have felt like a meaningful addition, a symbol of where you were at that time in your life. But now, many of these items sit untouched, gathering dust, and taking up space not only in our homes but in our hearts and minds. When you reflect on the times in your life that brought you the deepest joy, was it because of something you owned? Think back to those precious moments of happiness. Maybe it was a holiday spent laughing with family, a heartfelt conversation with an old friend, a quiet morning watching the sunrise, or an accomplishment that filled you with pride and gratitude. Those moments of pure joy rarely come from material things. Instead, they stem from experiences, from connections, from times when you felt deeply alive and part of something meaningful. Over time, we begin to see that the pursuit of possessions can sometimes distract us from these more lasting sources of fulfillment. The things we thought would enrich us can, paradoxically, end up weighing us down. This realization often grows clearer as we age, especially as we pass milestones like 70 and beyond. These are the years when we begin to reflect on what truly matters. It's a time to question whether we still need to carry so many possessions along our journey. Do we need all these things, or are they simply the remnants of an earlier chapter, a story that no longer reflects who we are today? Often, The items we hold on to have sentimental value. They remind us of people, places, and times that touched our lives. But we don't need to keep every object to honor those memories. Memories live within us, and no amount of material clutter can enhance or preserve the love, laughter, and lessons we've collected in our hearts. Letting go of what no longer serves us, whether it's old clothing and used gadgets or furniture that has lost its place in our lives, can feel like a breath of fresh air, a release of the burdens that hold us back from truly embracing the present. Picture yourself surrounded only by what brings you joy, peace, and purpose. Imagine the sense of freedom that comes with lightening your load, with knowing that your space is no longer weighed down by things that no longer have meaning. This act of letting go is like peeling away layers of the past that no longer serve us, revealing a renewed space for growth, discovery, and contentment. Look around your home. Are there items you've been holding onto out of habit, a feeling of obligation, or perhaps a subtle fear of letting go? Imagine what it would feel like to release just one of those objects. What if you let go of that coat you haven't worn in years, that old chair you never sit in, or that set of dishes you're saving for a special occasion that has yet to arrive? Picture the feeling of opening up your home, creating breathing space, not just in your physical environment but within your mind and heart as well. Letting go allows us to shift our focus from what we own to who we are. It opens up room for new experiences, new friendships, and new sources of joy. It invites a deeper sense of presence, helping us to embrace the life we are living right now. In this newfound simplicity, you may find a renewed sense of peace. You may feel lighter, unburdened by the weight of the past. Imagine how refreshing it would be to walk into a home that reflects your truest self, a space that aligns with the person you have become rather than the person you were. Each room becomes a sanctuary of calm, a reflection of your values and priorities. The walls no longer echo with the clutter of yesterday's dreams but resonate with the beauty of today's purpose. Releasing our attachment to material possessions isn't about losing. It's about gaining a richer, fuller life. It's about making room for the things that truly matter. For conversations, laughter, moments of reflection, and for the quiet, simple joys that have always been waiting for us, just beneath the surface. Letting go of what no longer serves us is a reminder that happiness is not something we can buy or own. It's something we create through the relationships we nurture, the experiences we cherish, and the purpose we pursue. And in the end, these are the treasures that remain with us, long after the objects around us have faded. So take a deep breath, look around, and consider the possibility of letting go. Imagine the life that awaits you when you are no longer defined by what you possess but by the love, peace, and meaning you hold within. Embrace the freedom of living in a space that serves who you are today and opens the door to all that tomorrow might bring. This is the true gift of releasing the burden of material possessions, a life that is light, joyful, and profoundly free. 3. Saying no to unnecessary social obligations. Consider this. How many times have you found yourself sitting at a social gathering, plastering on a polite smile, nodding along, and making small talk, all while feeling a deep desire to be somewhere else? Maybe cozied up at home with a good book or simply enjoying the stillness of your own company. For much of our lives, we operate on a kind of autopilot when it comes to social obligations. There's this ingrained sense of duty, a reflexive inclination to say yes to invitations, to fulfill expectations, and to sustain relationships that, perhaps, have lost their original warmth and connection. Society often imposes the idea that we must be agreeable, must show up, and must keep the peace in our social lives. We say yes out of politeness, yes out of habit, yes out of a desire not to disappoint others, even if, in truth, that yes may not honor our own heart's desires. We end up filling our time with endless coffee dates, family gatherings, and dinners where we're physically present but emotionally absent. We invest precious hours in places and situations that, rather than lifting our spirits, seem to slowly drain our energy and leave us feeling empty. As we reach the milestone of 70 and beyond, something remarkable often happens. With age, we gain not only wisdom but profound clarity and confidence to live more authentically. Suddenly, the reality of our finite time on this earth becomes clear. We begin to recognize that our time, our energy, and our peace of mind are invaluable. Life is simply too short to spend in environments that deplete us or with people who fail to bring positivity into our lives. This newfound perspective empowers us to make a bold and beautiful choice, to say no to social obligations that don't serve our well-being or align with our deepest values. This isn't just about saying no for the sake of it. It's about reclaiming our power and allowing ourselves to live intentionally. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to no longer attend events purely out of obligation, to no longer feel chained to expectations that don't resonate with your true self. Saying no can be one of the most courageous, self-affirming actions we can take. Each no is a boundary that declares, "My time is my own, and I choose to spend it in ways that bring me joy, peace, and fulfillment." This isn't an act of selfishness. It's an act of deep self-respect, of honoring the life you've worked so hard to build. Reflect on this. Have you ever attended an event simply because you didn't want to upset someone, only to leave feeling drained, out of place, or even resentful? Picture the freedom you could experience by permitting yourself to turn down invitations that don't align with your values. Envision a life where every gathering, every relationship, and every moment spent with others truly resonates with you. A life where each yes is a genuine expression of your desires, a choice made out of joy rather than obligation. This choice doesn't mean isolating yourself or closing off from the world. It's not about cutting ties with loved ones or avoiding social interactions altogether. Instead, it's about becoming more intentional, more selective, and more attuned to your own needs. By carefully curating the people and events in your life, you create a social environment that nourishes your spirit, one that uplifts rather than drains you. You choose to surround yourself with individuals who bring out the best in you, who celebrate who you are, and who add to your happiness. When we prioritize our well-being, our presence in social situations becomes deeper and more genuine. We're no longer just physically present but emotionally engaged. We listen with greater interest, laugh with real joy, and contribute meaningfully to conversations. Each moment shared with others becomes more precious and more memorable because we're truly there, our hearts fully open, our minds at peace. By letting go of unnecessary obligations, we free ourselves to fully experience and cherish the interactions that genuinely matter. Imagine the joy of a life where every social interaction is intentional, where you feel uplifted and inspired rather than exhausted or unfulfilled. By saying no to what doesn't resonate, you give yourself the space to say yes to what truly does. You create room for meaningful relationships, for gatherings that are filled with laughter and love, and for moments that enrich your soul. This isn't just a benefit for you, it also enriches the lives of those around you. When you're fully invested in your time with others, they feel the warmth of your presence, the sincerity of your engagement, and the depth of your appreciation. This is the beauty of embracing your own needs as you age. Each decision to prioritize yourself adds a layer of fulfillment, a sense of peace, and richness to your life. You honor the years you've lived, the lessons you've learned, and the wisdom you've gained by choosing to invest your time in ways that nurture you. By saying no to unnecessary social obligations, you reclaim your life, your time, and your happiness. You open the door to a life filled with purpose, joy, and deeply meaningful connections. And isn't that what truly matters? 4. Embracing authentic beauty. In a society consumed by the pursuit of youthful beauty, what if we dared to redefine the very concept of beauty itself? For much of our lives, we are relentlessly bombarded with ideals crafted by society. Ideals that equate beauty with perfection, flawlessness, and unending youth. From the airbrushed models in magazines to the filtered faces on social media, we are immersed in a narrative that tells us beauty means smooth, untouched skin, a slim and sculpted figure, bright, unlined eyes, and hair untouched by time. We are conditioned, often subconsciously, to believe that our worth lies in meeting these ideals, and that aging somehow diminishes our value. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As we age, society's whispers can turn into an overwhelming clamor, subtly and sometimes openly pressuring us to combat each sign of passing time, to cover up, to mask, to erase any evidence of a life well lived. Every gray hair is painted over, every wrinkle smoothed out, as if our experiences, our stories, and our very lives need to be hidden. But what if we chose a different path? What if, instead of resisting the natural and inevitable changes of aging, we embraced them fully and proudly? What if every line and silver strand became something precious, something to celebrate instead of conceal? Imagine standing in front of a mirror and seeing each line, each gray hair, as a unique badge of honor. Imagine seeing yourself with the clarity of self-acceptance, recognizing that each wrinkle holds a story, a moment of laughter, a tear shed, a memory created. Each gray hair could become a marker of wisdom, a testament to the lessons we've learned and the challenges we've faced. Rather than perceiving these marks as flaws, what if we saw them as symbols of resilience, strength, and grace? True beauty, authentic beauty, has always been about much more than just physical appearance. When we think about the people who truly move us, who captivate us, it's rarely because of their external features alone. Their beauty radiates from somewhere deeper. It's in the kindness in their eyes, the strength in their posture, the wisdom in their words, and the way they hold space for others. It's the warmth in their smiles, the spark of life that emanates from them, and the way they exude confidence simply by being themselves. As we grow older, we have the opportunity to embody this kind of beauty, a beauty that isn't limited to youth or perfect features but grows richer with time. Authentic beauty isn't about perfection or conformity. It's about presence, resilience, and depth of character. It's the beauty that arises when we honor ourselves, flaws and all, when we cherish the journey of life and all it has brought us. This kind of beauty is rare and profound. It cannot be measured by the standards set by society because it transcends them. Reflect for a moment on the richness of a life that has been fully lived. Imagine looking at yourself, not through society's eyes, but through the eyes of love and compassion. See the strength that has carried you through trials, the gentleness that has nurtured others, the laughter that has echoed through the years. See the beauty that radiates from all of these things, a beauty that can only come from truly being alive and embracing each stage of life. This beauty does not demand validation from the outside world. It shines purely because it is a testament to our uniqueness. It is the beauty of scars that remind us of healing, of hands that have labored and loved, of eyes that have seen both joy and sorrow. It is the beauty that whispers quietly, "I have lived." This beauty cannot fade because it is rooted not in appearance but in spirit. By embracing authentic beauty, we choose to celebrate our lives as they are, not as we are told they should be. We are saying that we are enough, just as we are. We are honoring ourselves and sending a powerful message to others, that beauty is more than skin deep, that it is as much about kindness, compassion, and integrity as it is about outward appearance. And so, as we let go of society's standards, we step into a more meaningful and fulfilling understanding of beauty. We honor not only ourselves but the deeper beauty that connects us all. This is the beauty that endures. This is the beauty that tells our story, that lifts others, and that grows only richer with each passing year. Let us cherish this beauty, for it is as rare as it is profound, and it reminds us that our worth is limitless, timeless, and entirely our own. Fifth, re-evaluating activities that no longer bring joy. In the rich, intricate tapestry of life, routines are woven deeply into our days, each thread representing a commitment, a tradition, or a practice we've carried with us along our journey. Some routines wrap us in warmth and purpose, filling our lives with a sense of meaning, fulfillment, and joy. They're like cherished melodies that play softly in the background, enriching our lives with a sense of stability and happiness. But as the years pass, we may come to realize that some routines no longer lift our spirits. Instead, they weigh us down like heavy stones, duties we carry out of habit or a sense of obligation rather than genuine passion or satisfaction. As we journey through life, particularly beyond the age of 70, we reach a stage where we're granted a remarkable opportunity. the freedom to reevaluate how we spend our precious time. It's a time to pause, to reflect, and to reassess what truly brings joy and fulfillment into our lives. Are there activities we once cherished that now feel empty, like echoes of a happiness that has faded with time? Are there hobbies we once held dear, traditions we clung to, that now feel distant or even burdensome? It's natural to outgrow certain aspects of our lives, yet we often hold on to them simply because we've always done so. We can find ourselves bound to routines that once uplifted us but now serve only to anchor us in a past that no longer resonates with who we are today. This stage of life is an invitation to release ourselves from these invisible chains. To let go of what no longer serves us isn't about dismissing the past or disregarding all that we've built and loved. It's about honoring who we are now, creating space in our hearts and lives for fresh passions, new experiences, and a renewed sense of purpose. Imagine, just for a moment, allowing yourself the grace of quiet introspection, taking a gentle pause to explore your daily routine. Are there tasks you approach with reluctance, commitments you fulfill out of obligation, even though they no longer bring joy? What would it feel like to let go of just one of these routines? To free yourself from a duty that has lost its meaning? Imagine the possibilities. By releasing an activity that no longer fills you with joy, you create a new, open space in your life. A space that can be filled with the pursuits that truly matter, that bring genuine contentment, and spark your curiosity. It's in these quiet spaces that life begins to feel expansive once again, that we allow room for growth, discovery, and fulfillment. This journey of letting go is not about loss but about liberation. It's a courageous act of self-compassion and renewal. Perhaps there's a creative pursuit you once adored, painting, writing, gardening, that you feel has grown distant. It may be time to acknowledge that, though it was a beloved part of your life, it no longer holds the same spark. Or perhaps there's a social circle, a long-standing tradition, or an event you attend out of habit, but that no longer resonates with who you are or where you're headed. This chapter of life allows us to take an honest, unhurried look at these aspects and to permit ourselves to let them go. It's about acknowledging that we're ever evolving, and what brought happiness or peace at one stage of life may not serve us in the same way at another. With each activity you release, you open a door to the unknown, inviting in possibilities you may never have considered. Maybe it's a new hobby that intrigues you, a cause you feel passionate about, or simply the chance to slow down and enjoy moments of quiet reflection. This season of life is like a blank canvas, waiting for the fresh brushstrokes of your dreams, hopes, and desires. You have the freedom to redefine what happiness means for you today and the wisdom to recognize that this definition is yours alone. Imagine embracing the courage to live more deeply and authentically, pursuing what brings your heart peace and your spirit joy. By reevaluating how you spend your days, you're not just shedding old routines. You're making way for a life that reflects the truest version of yourself. Each choice you make enriches the life you're meant to live now, in this moment. This stage of life isn't about settling into the familiar or clinging to the past, but about growth, renewal, and the courage to follow the paths that truly resonate with you. So, take this time as a gift. Embrace the gentle, liberating act of letting go, not with regret but with gratitude. Honor the memories, the experiences, and the lessons that your routines have given you, but allow yourself the freedom to step forward without them if they no longer bring you joy. Life is ever-changing, and in this beautiful, transformative stage, you have the power to create a new rhythm. A rhythm that feels lighter, brighter, and deeply attuned to who you are now. Let this be your time to shine in the truest way possible, living each day in a way that fills your heart with peace, purpose, and unbounded joy. 6. Cutting ties with toxic relationships. Relationships are woven into the very fabric of our lives. They're the threads that shape our days, the bonds that uplift our hearts, and the connections that provide us with comfort, joy, and a profound sense of belonging. From the early stages of life, relationships offer a foundation, guiding us, teaching us, and helping us grow. But as years pass, some relationships transform, and while many bring warmth and support, others can cast long, dark shadows over our happiness. The unfortunate reality is that not all relationships stay healthy, loving, or fulfilling. Some connections we once held dear may, over time, turn into burdens, leaving us feeling drained, diminished, and emotionally exhausted. The journey of life often brings us to a place where we must reflect deeply on the relationships we hold close. After the age of 70, this reflection becomes even more critical. It's a time to take stock of what brings light and what casts darkness, to recognize the relationships that uplift and nurture our spirit, and to acknowledge those that bring only negativity, criticism, or depletion. Whether it's a friend whose constant negativity fills our conversations, a family member who never fails to criticize, or an acquaintance who always seems to leave us feeling small, these toxic relationships take a toll on our well-being, our peace of mind, and ultimately, our sense of self-worth. Reaching this stage in life brings precious clarity, a kind of wisdom earned through decades of experience, lessons, and personal growth. With that wisdom comes the realization that every moment is valuable and that our time and energy deserve to be spent with those who genuinely care for us. The question becomes, who are the people who truly cherish us, who see us for who we are, and who bring comfort, positivity, and kindness into our lives? And on the other hand, who are the ones that leave us feeling unworthy, frustrated, or emotionally burdened? When we hold on to toxic relationships, we're not only compromising our happiness but also giving away our power, allowing others to influence our emotions and dictate our sense of self. Releasing these negative connections is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-preservation and self-love. Choosing to let go of those who no longer serve us positively is a brave and compassionate decision, a declaration that our peace and happiness matter. Imagine a life surrounded only by those who uplift, inspire, and love you unconditionally. Picture relationships that are free from judgment, full of genuine support, and rich with warmth. This is the life you deserve. Letting go of toxicity allows us to make space for these nurturing connections, for friendships that bring joy and companionship, for family members who respect our journey, and for people who embrace us fully for who we are. And if that means we have fewer people in our circle, so be it, because quality in relationships is always more important than quantity. In embracing this self-care, we honor our journey and our needs. We acknowledge that we've come a long way and that our well-being is worth protecting. At this stage of life, choosing ourselves, choosing peace, and choosing joy becomes a profound expression of gratitude for the life we've built. It's a declaration that we deserve every ounce of happiness, every bit of comfort, and every single person who brings light and love. So, take this moment to reflect on who you allow into your life. Surround yourself with people who make you feel alive, who encourage you to grow, who remind you of the beauty within you. Embrace those who uplift, cherish, and support you wholeheartedly. And with courage, let go of the ones who drain your spirit. In doing so, you honor yourself and your journey, embracing a life filled with peace, positivity, and the joy of true connection. 7. Letting go of comparisons. Comparison has long been called the thief of joy, and there's a deep, almost universal truth in that wisdom. Throughout our lives, so many of us have spent valuable time measuring our worth, happiness, and success against others, as though someone else's life could ever be an accurate reflection of our own. We observe friends achieving financial success and wonder if we're lacking, or we see a neighbor with a seemingly perfect family and question if our own life is missing something vital. Perhaps we even look at siblings or close friends who have reached certain milestones we haven't, like career accomplishments or enviable social circles, and a quiet sense of inadequacy seeps into our hearts. These moments, though often fleeting, can cast long shadows over our sense of fulfillment. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But by the time we reach the seasoned age of 70, we start to truly understand something profound, something that can only come with decades of living, learning, and growing. Each of us walks a path that is uniquely our own. This revelation isn't a mere cliché, but a deeply personal truth that liberates us from the burdens we've carried for years. Life is not a race, and it certainly isn't a competition. When we compare, We're often looking at another person's most polished, public-facing version of themselves, while holding up our behind-the-scenes struggles and hardships. This comparison, we come to understand, is not only unfair, it's unnecessary. We discover that our worth, our success, and our joy cannot, and should not, be measured by anyone else's standards. There is no universal yardstick that accurately gauges a life well lived, because each life is a masterpiece painted with experiences, decisions, triumphs, and struggles that are deeply individual. The friend who appears financially prosperous may have faced sacrifices or private battles that we cannot see. The neighbor with the perfect family may carry worries and burdens that they keep behind closed doors. Even our siblings, those who share our blood and history, are on a path wholly separate from ours, shaped by experiences we may never fully understand. We start to see that success doesn't look the same for everyone. It's a mosaic, a vast and varied collection of achievements, lessons, and moments that, when pieced together, create a one-of-a-kind portrait of fulfillment. By the time we reach this stage of life, we come to understand that happiness, too, is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It is not a destination that looks the same for everyone. Rather, it's a state of being that we cultivate within ourselves. True joy doesn't come from mirroring someone else's life or accomplishments. It comes from honoring our journey, accepting our unique path, and embracing every moment, the triumphs and the hardships, as essential parts of who we are. The more we release the habit of comparison, the more we permit ourselves to be fully present in our own lives, appreciating the moments, large and small, that have shaped us into the people we've become. Letting go of comparisons is not always easy. It requires us to break down habits and beliefs we've held for years, perhaps even a lifetime. Yet, in doing so, we free ourselves from a weight that we may not have realized we were carrying. This release allows us to celebrate the beauty of our own lives without needing validation from the outside world. It opens our hearts to the richness of our experiences, the relationships that matter to us, and the quiet, often overlooked accomplishments that bring true fulfillment. The world may not see or recognize all the nuances of our lives, but we do, and that's what matters most. In letting go of comparisons, we invite gratitude to fill the spaces once occupied by self-doubt. We begin to see ourselves not through the lens of what we haven't achieved, but through a perspective that honors all we have done, all the love we've shared, and all the lessons we've learned. There is a profound peace in this realization, a sense of pride and contentment that comes from knowing we have lived fully, just as we are. Life isn't about living up to anyone else's standards. It's about creating a life that feels authentic, meaningful, and deeply personal. As we step into this new chapter, we embrace a fresh perspective. Our lives are not just good enough, they are beautiful in their own right. The tapestry of our journey is woven with moments, memories, and milestones that belong solely to us. We learn to appreciate the beauty of our path, and in doing so, we open ourselves to a kind of joy that comparison could never bring. There is no universal formula for happiness, no mold we must fit into, and realizing this truth is perhaps one of the greatest gifts of age. Our journey is our own, and it is enough. And in that acceptance, we find a happiness that is lasting, a joy that comparison could never touch, and a sense of fulfillment that comes from truly living our one, unique, and precious life. 8. Redefining goals that truly matter. In the bloom of our youth, we're often driven by dreams sculpted from society's mold. Ambitions that glisten with promises of recognition, status, or financial abundance. These goals, built on the foundations of success as defined by others, drive us to pursue achievements like building a prosperous career, accumulating wealth, and securing our place in the world. Fueled by energy and a sense of boundless possibility, we run tirelessly toward these benchmarks, believing that reaching them will bring us a sense of fulfillment and happiness. We pour our days into work, sacrifice our evenings for advancement, and sometimes even let go of personal passions, thinking these are the right choices. But as the years pass, life gently begins to shift. We find ourselves moving from a place of striving and proving to one of reflection and awareness. The hustle that once seemed essential to our identity can start to feel exhausting and even empty. It's as if the things we once held as precious jewels in our journey to making it begin to lose their shine, becoming relics of another life. A life driven by values and priorities that no longer align with who we are today. The goals that were once the driving force behind every decision and every morning's motivation might now feel like burdens instead of blessings. Arriving at the remarkable milestone of 70 and beyond brings a rare and precious opportunity, a gift of time and perspective, to reassess, redefine, and rediscover what truly matters to us. This stage of life offers a gentle yet profound invitation to let go of those dreams that have lost their hold on our hearts. It's an invitation to release the goals that no longer resonate, without guilt or regret. By loosening our grip on these outdated ambitions, we make space for something deeper, more genuine, and ultimately more fulfilling. It takes great courage to recognize that letting go is not a loss, but a rebirth, a liberation from the weight of expectations that no longer serve us. In this new season, fulfillment can take on an entirely different shape, one that reflects our truest values. No longer are we bound by the need to impress others or meet a checklist of achievements defined by society. Instead, we can focus on the things that bring deep, abiding peace to our souls. Perhaps it's in the quiet, treasured moments with family, where time feels like it's standing still, where the laughter and love of children or grandchildren remind us of the richness of life. Or maybe it's in the simple pleasure of spending time with close friends and sharing memories that are a testament to a lifetime of connection and love. This stage of life also opens doors to passions we may have set aside long ago, the ones we promised ourselves we would get to someday. Now, with the freedom to explore, perhaps it's finally time to paint, garden, learn an instrument, or write the book that's been waiting in your heart. These pursuits aren't merely hobbies. They are ways to express the deepest parts of ourselves, to give voice to the desires and dreams that have waited patiently for us to make time for them. Every moment spent in these pursuits becomes a celebration of who we are beyond titles, roles, or accolades. Redefining your goals and purpose at this stage is a journey inward, a return to the essence of what brings meaning and joy to your days. It's about asking yourself, what truly matters to me now? And allowing yourself the freedom to answer honestly, without judgment or comparison. No longer must you measure yourself against others or chase achievements for the sake of appearances. Instead, you're empowered to embrace the things that bring genuine joy and contentment, the things that feel like home to your heart. For some, fulfillment may come from giving back, from offering wisdom to others who walked the path you once trod. Perhaps it's time to mentor, share your knowledge, or volunteer, knowing that your life experience is a gift to others. Your presence, patience, and perspective are invaluable in a world that often overlooks the quiet strength of wisdom earned through the years. For others, it's about embracing a simpler life, savoring the beauty of each day without the need for grand gestures or relentless pursuit. It's finding peace in a cup of tea on a calm morning, joy in the sound of birdsong, and gratitude in the rhythm of the seasons. It's the richness of being present, of truly tasting the sweetness of life without the need to rush to the next goal. Redefining success and fulfillment on your terms is a profound act of self-compassion and respect. It's about recognizing that the meaning of life isn't found in the number of trophies on the shelf, but in the depth of our experiences, in the strength of our relationships, and in the peace that fills our hearts when we are truly content. This is the journey of reconnecting with your essence, of remembering what brings you to life, what brings comfort to your soul, and what nourishes your spirit in the quietest, most beautiful ways. This time is yours to shape a legacy defined not by wealth or fame, but by the warmth, love, and authenticity that radiate from a life lived with intention and grace. So, as you stand in this new chapter, let yourself embrace the freedom to be wholly, unapologetically yourself. Let yourself live a life defined by the truth of your heart, a life that is deeply meaningful to you, a life that celebrates the beauty of simply being. In letting go of the past's expectations, you're making room for the joys of the present moment. By focusing on what resonates with you today, you're cultivating a life filled with peace, purpose, and profound joy. This is your time, your season to bloom in a way that feels true, beautiful, and complete. 9. Prioritizing your happiness without guilt. In the grand tapestry of life, one of the most profound lessons we often grapple with is the realization that prioritizing our happiness, without the shadow of guilt, is not just a right, but a necessity. For many of us, the habit of placing others before ourselves has been woven into the fabric of who we are, often starting from a young age. We're taught that to love is to sacrifice, to care is to give without limit. We learn to set our own needs aside for the sake of family, to mold ourselves to meet the expectations of friends, and to exhaust ourselves by fulfilling endless obligations at work. But all too often, we end up diminishing our happiness in the process, feeling obligated to carry the weight of others' desires, dreams, and expectations while neglecting our own heart's longings. This self-sacrificing approach may feel noble, even virtuous, yet it can leave us depleted and yearning for something more. And as we grow older, as we reach that beautiful stage in life when we can begin to look back on the choices we've made and the lives we've touched, a powerful truth emerges. We cannot pour endlessly from an empty cup. We come to see that to give to others, truly, deeply, and sustainably, we must first give to ourselves. This is not a selfish act. Rather, it's one of the most selfless choices we can make. When we're fulfilled, joyful, and whole, we bring an authentic, abundant energy to our relationships, our communities, and the world around us. For those of us who have spent our lives as givers, the very notion of putting our happiness first can feel unsettling, even uncomfortable. We may feel that by doing so, we're letting others down or abandoning our roles as caregivers, providers, or friends. But here lies a powerful shift. Imagine all the years you have dedicated to others, often sacrificing pieces of yourself to ensure their happiness, security, and comfort. Now, imagine what could happen if you turned even a fraction of that energy inward, to nurture yourself, to honor your dreams, to rediscover what makes you feel alive. Giving yourself this permission is a radical act of self-love, a beautiful and necessary step in reclaiming your joy. Prioritizing your happiness is not only okay, it is essential. Now is the time to place your joy, your peace, and your fulfillment at the very top of your list, knowing that by doing so, you can bring an even greater light to the lives of those around you. Releasing the weight. Living lightly and fully. Life beyond 70 offers us a rare, almost sacred opportunity. The chance to live more lightly, more purposefully, and with a profound sense of joy. This stage of life brings with it the wisdom to look inward, to reflect on our journey, and to recognize the countless burdens we've carried along the way. Some of these burdens may be the weight of others' expectations, the constant pressure to fit into certain roles, or the nagging feeling that we must keep up with societal standards. Perhaps it's the belief that our worth is tied to our achievements, or that we must remain endlessly strong, endlessly giving, and endlessly available. But here, in this season of life, there is freedom to finally let go. Imagine shedding the weight of what no longer serves you. The opinions of others, material possessions that no longer hold meaning, toxic relationships that drain rather than uplift, and societal norms that feel restrictive or outdated. By releasing these attachments, we create space, precious, sacred space, for what truly matters. We allow room for relationships that fill our hearts with genuine joy, for experiences that bring us peace and fulfillment, and for the quiet, simple pleasures that breathe meaning into each day. Life becomes less about what we should do or have, and more about savoring what we choose to do and cherish. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. In letting go, we find ourselves able to live with greater intention. Each day becomes a gift, an opportunity to embrace moments with loved ones, to lose ourselves in hobbies that nourish us, to immerse ourselves in nature, and to savor the beautiful simplicity of being present. Imagine waking up each morning, free from the constraints of others' expectations and the weight of past regrets, able to live each moment as an expression of who you truly are. This is a time to nurture and honor your unique self, to step fully into your journey with grace, love, and a sense of purpose. This stage of life is also a celebration of resilience, the resilience that has carried you through decades of experiences, both joyful and challenging. It's a time to reflect on the strength you've cultivated, the wisdom you've gathered, and the grace you've developed along the way. Every wrinkle, every laugh line, every story etched into your heart is a testament to a life fully lived. A life that holds beauty even in its imperfections. By choosing to live lightly, to let go of what no longer serves you, you honor this resilience and make space for a new kind of richness. A richness that comes not from possessions or status, but from the deep, fulfilling connections you create, the memories you cherish, and the joy you allow yourself to feel. So, embrace this time as a gift. Release the heavy burdens and choose to walk forward with a heart unencumbered. Prioritize your happiness with a gentle, loving confidence, knowing that this choice is not only right but necessary. Allow yourself to savor the journey, find delight in the small moments, and live in a way that is true to your soul. This is your time, a time to live freely, joyfully, and deeply in tune with the beauty of life. May each day be a celebration of the happiness and peace you so richly deserve. As we reach the end of this journey together, take a moment to reflect on everything we've shared. What have you learned from this exploration of self-prioritization, releasing burdens, and embracing the joy of living lightly? What resonated most with you, and what insights will you carry forward in your own life? We'd love to hear from you. Comment below with one thing you've learned today and how you plan to bring it into practice. Your reflections not only inspire us but also create a community of shared wisdom and support. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay connected and receive more empowering content. Thank you for being here, and may you continue to walk your path with lightness and joy.